Beep bop. Good morning, good people. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, tax day 2025. Here we are in southwestern Nevada, west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, south of Area 51, hard scrabble territory. And here we are, colorful humans, and that's spelled Huemonds, colorful nuts. Good morning, Matticus von Atticus. Good to see that you're here. Under Sergeant Ordinaire, how is your life? Hope it's well. Okay, so here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and other interested people through to experience this life in such a way that it best prepares them for what happens next. What does that mean? Well, that means A, we have a soul that continues after death. B, what happens after death is directly related to what happens before after death, i.e., while we are alive. 3, our life is a gift. It's a gift from the Creator. And a gift is not a loan, it's not a contract, it's not a bargain for exchange, it's not an investment, it's a gift. And like any gift, the recipient of the gift is free to do with the gift what it wants, but the best thing to do is to honor the gift. Honor the gift. So how would we honor the gift of life? A, not squander it. Right. B, use it to the best that we can. Take care of it. And that's what we try to do here, is help our students and interested people do that. And we focus on 4 areas. 4 areas. 1, physical, which is fitness and health. Take care of this body we are given. We're a spirit or a soul with a body. Take care of the body. Don't squander the body. The body is a temple. Take care of the body. Fitness and health, what we ingest and what we do. 2, mental. Always be learning. Always be learning. The world is changing faster than ever, and we need to spend time each day just to keep up with what's going on, but to focus on what is important. The type of license plates German cars had during World War II is probably not the most important thing to do, because it does matter. 3, emotional. This is the biggest problem, and we're going to talk about that today in our theme, talking about Stoicism and Marcus Aurelius, controlling our emotions. We are a soul with a body, and the body has the ability, the body is an emotional thing. To fully experience life, we need to have emotions. But we need to learn to control the emotions. It's like a hammer, right? You can use a hammer to make things or to break things. It's easy to use it to break things. It takes time to learn how to use it to make things. Same thing with the body and its emotions. We have this great ability to experience emotions, love, for example, but unregulated, uncontrolled, it leads to disaster, overdose. Okay. Next, and finally, is number 4, spiritual, what it's all about. The spiritual part. The what's next of life. Okay, the what's next. So we focus on that on weekends. We call that G School. So that's why we're here. We're here to help our students and other interested people experience this life and prepare for what happens next. Boom. How do we do that? Well, we do it through this podcast, but we really do it through the worksheet. See below. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, our websites. That's where the experts are. That's where the magic happens. The podcast serves two purposes. Purpose number one, community, for those people who are able to watch it live, like Atticus von Atticus. Out here in the West, it is early. It's only 6 a.m. In the East, it's late. It's 9 a.m. So Wada Bevy doesn't have the ability to do it. Who knows where Diana is and the other people. It's hard to watch live, but we're here live in case you want to experience the community, the social part of it being live. Number one. Number two, we do it through the worksheet. That is where the magic happens. The worksheet, that's the experts. The purpose of the podcast, as I said, number one is community, but more important than that, it is building better habits, creating a daily routine, and then repetition, always getting a little bit better for it. And it really pays off if you do it all the time. There are benefits to doing it, getting on once a week or in the morning when you feel like it, when you don't sleep in, sort of the Atticus von Atticus approach to it. If I'm awake and I feel like tuning in, I will. That is a routine in itself. Can it get better? Yeah. Well, how does it get better? Well, I will do it more often. Then it gets better by saying, I don't feel like it, but I'll do it anyway. So kudos to Atticus von Atticus, because compared to the other thousands of people out there that might tune in infrequently, Atticus von Atticus tunes in regularly. I am a field marshal and grand admiral. Aha, I thought you were an Untersergeant ordinaire. But that's a different story. So without further ado, let's get into it. Advice from an 80-year-old. Count your blessings. Right. So many of us, most of us, probably the natural inclination is to focus on what we don't have. Or as my father would say, you're focusing on the whole, not the donut. Focus on the donut, not the whole. So many of us focus on what we don't have, what we don't got, what was taken from us rather than what we have, and how to be resourceful and take what we have and get more. How much more? If I say more, that is a riff on Simon Sinek. Okay, next. So that's advice from an 80-year-old. How about from Seth Godin? Seth Godin, where's your N+1? What? If 3 people are coming over for dinner, does that stress you out? No. What if it's 17? If you're giving a talk explaining your strategy to 4 people, does it feel like a high-risk event? What if it's 54? How many more people are required before it flips to stressful? Because the last person is just one person. If you're performing in an auditorium, there are still only 30 people you can see from the stage. N+1 is just one more. Okay, cool. Seth Godin, we pay homage. What else we have for red letter? Daily Stoic. Conversations with the Dead, Ryan Holiday. Yes. Talking about something Zeno said, that the Oracle of Delphi told him, talk to the dead. Go talk to the dead. What? How do I do that? And he figured out it was reading books. Reading books. Conversations with the dead. Reading books. Learn from the past. Right. Okay, so talking about reading books. Okay, moving right along. We are in day 2 of week 4 of our 4-week neuroscience-oriented approach to success. This is about leadership. It's actually about power, getting other people to do what you want. Now that you have your ship, now that the ship is afloat, the game is afoot. Now that that is occurring, you got to make sure you don't crash the boat. You don't have a mutiny. You don't go off course, et cetera, et cetera. So yesterday we learned from Nancy Kane about crisis leadership, when everything is going to hell, when you're the president of the country during a civil war, when your aides, when your advisors hope you fail, they're not helping you win. They don't believe in you. They don't trust you. You're a country bumpkin who got lucky. You got set up to be in this position. When you're that guy, extreme crisis, when you're thinking about killing yourself, how do you move forward with leadership in a crisis? What's the thing you cling to? And for Lincoln, thanks to his father, thanks to his dislike of his father, his thing was, my life is not going to be worthless. My life is going to have meaning. And I'm not going to be the guy that goes down in history as the guy who was president when this experiment failed. I am not going to be that guy. I will do whatever it takes. And as he said, he was down to his last jack in this game of poker. And he pulled it off. He won. So crisis leadership, or Shackleton. Trying to the plan to walk across Antarctica, only his hubris got him going too early before the ice melted, ship stuck in ice, crushed, sunk. Now he's got to get back and to figure out how to do that. Crisis, total crisis, things we don't regularly face. That was yesterday. Today, it's the other extreme, pure leadership. You're the emperor of the world. You can have anything you want, anything you desire, you can have. Anything you want. What is it that keeps you moving forward in a positive way to not give in to your carnal base cravings? How does one do that? And the answer for Marcus Aurelius was Stoicism. Footnote to history, this is about 180, 190 AD. So Jesus has been dead for about 150, 60 years. Why wasn't he a Christian? Well, he didn't really know about the Christians. They were not important at that time. When you have an empire of 60 million people, that number's not correct, but when you have an empire of 60 million people and you can have anything you want, this ragtag bunch of people is not really something that's going to have a big impact, but Stoicism did. And if we look at history, Christianity, whoosh, Stoicism, bump, when the lines cross, when Christianity and Stoicism cross, Stoicism didn't disappear. Stoicism became greatly less important because it was absorbed into Christianity, and Christianity was made better. Oops. Okay, so what's the question of today? So as part of our intro, what is the question of today? Question is, or the statement is, good morning, Miss Trinkle, wherever you are. Trinkle toes. Or is it Trinklebell? I don't know, but I think it's right here. Okay, now, let's see, Maticus von Atticus, you won't address me by my rank. I self-promoted myself to Field Marshal. Well, I want to know what your fleet is as an admiral. Yes, so Shackleton said, Ernest Shackleton, one of his famous quotes was, at the end of the day, it's the old dogs that pull the sled. Meaning in life, you get the young guys, they're out there, energy in the beginning, but they get tired. They can't keep it up. They can't keep going. Okay, cool. Righto. All right, so let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius. Stoic's Stoic. How do we know about Marcus Aurelius? Well, we know about Marcus Aurelius many ways, but the most important way, perhaps, is he had journals. He was the most powerful man in the world. Anybody he talked to wanted something from him, basically. So he would spend time alone writing in his journal, because that's one way he could get peace and sort things out, because because of the vicissitudes, whatever that word means, the vicissitudes of man. So he had journals, and on the journals he would write to myself. So he's got all of these journals. Oh, here's about feeding the army. Here's about logistics. Here's about the economy. Here's about banking. Here's about whatever. So some of his journals were to myself. And he left instructions upon his death to just burn them, throw them away. Well, what they were his private thoughts, his private musings, his meditations. So we know them as the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. And this is sort of an autobiography. It's his view of the world, where he didn't intend for anybody else to see it. So that's not varnished. This unvarnished view of life. And he was trained as a Stoic. He was educated as a Stoic. So that was his twist. And so some of the things he believed was nothing outside himself. He wasn't afraid of anything, wasn't afraid of death, wasn't afraid of failure, the only thing he was afraid of was letting himself down as a man, to be unable to do what he believed was right. So he have the courage of his convictions. And let's say another thing would be moral virtue is enough. That's it. All you have to do, be morally virtuous. Just do the right thing at the right time, for the right reason, in the right way. If you do all four of those things, if that is your North Star, there it is. If that's your North Star, you're gonna be okay. Moral virtue is enough. So 17 minutes and 48 seconds in. So Marcus Aurelius did the best he could. Did he want to be the emperor? No. And as he said, but if not me, whoever it's going to be would be worse. I just have to keep my post, do my job, let the gods take care of everything else. Did he believe in God? Well, not in the way that we do. However, from my class last night, chaplaincy, Santa Clara graduate program, pastoral ministry, one of the things was Native American religion versus Christianity. Back in the past, Native Americans persecuted because they did not believe in our God. A very small God, very legalistic God. You must do these things, follow these things if you want salvation. Now, bigger view of God. So the question number one, do we have a soul that continues after death? If the answer is no, okay, you're over here. If the answer is yes, okay, is it a God of love? Is it a God of love? If the answer is no, if it's a war God, different God. Are we told, instructed, commanded to love one another, to exist in harmony with other people? If the answer to that is no, and if we're to be warlike people, if we're to kill others, different God. Are we to make disciples of others? In other words, we're inclusionary, not exclusionary. If we are, then it's the same God. What? Same God? So the Native Americans could have had the same God that we have? They just viewed it differently because they had different experiences in life. So very big God theory. That there is a God, that there is something after this. There is a creator. Boom. That it is a creator of love, not destruction. That we are commanded to live in harmony with nature and with other people. And to be inclusive. That's fundamentally Jesus's teachings in a big God theory. Now you can get to have a very small God that has 1,600,000 rules plus more. You want to be saved, you got to do all of these things, because if you don't do one of them, you might not be saved. But on the other hand, I have this little get out of jail free card here, which is all you have to do is confess your sins and I'll forgive them. So you can do it, basically do whatever you want and just ask for forgiveness and you'll be forgiven. But I have all of these rules. So you're going to break a lot of rules, but as long as you're good at instantly fixing that, asking for forgiveness, if you ask for forgiveness, I will forgive you. But if you sin, you fall short, and you don't ask for forgiveness, there's this gap, you're not saved. Small God theory. All right, so we're, way over our time. My apologies. Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa, Miss Trinkle, wherever you is. And okay, so Maticus von Atticus, we'll see you on the other side. I'll call you later today. And with that, we're going to say and cut and cut.